Okay, so I made another plane, and all I was doing today was trying to just finish the controller. Everything else was done. And I'll tell you, there was like 7 things different wrong. I didn't try the servos out. I got these metal servos off eBay for like $9 a piece. And one servo would only move halfway, so I had to complain about that. And then I was having to like cut a line in the tape because I taped my wing so that when it hits the ground, that the boom dissipates. It doesn't like when it don't split the styrofoam, kind of like cheap fiberglass. You can tape it and remove it. Anyways, I almost cut the plane. Luckily I moved the tape and I didn't cut a line on the plane wing. I got the servo halfway out and I realized I had to pull the whole servo wire out, and I didn't want to do that. So I figured if the servo was broke, I was just going to move it back and forth and see how broke it was. I mean, they were metal gears. It wasn't going to like break like a plastic one. So I moved it back and forth and I actually freed it up. And then I plugged it in and I realized that my channels were all wonky and they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. And I'd go up and down, only one wing would move. So then I kept watching YouTube videos trying to configure it, and then I realized that since I was using inav, which is a flight controller, I didn't need to do all that like when you're using just a receiver, because the receiver is doing all the thinking. I actually didn't need to do any mixes. So after like taking a good hour or two of saying words I shouldn't say, I figured I could have just copy and pasted that plane that I have set up for inav, even though that has a tail and a wing, and the plane I'm using is this one, which is a fixed wing with no tail. inav does all the configuring, so it doesn't matter as long as it's AETR, whatever, you know, aileron, rudder, throttle, it doesn't matter. So this is moving like it should now, and then my plug was bad for my video, and god damn, I had to replace the plug. Luckily it was just a plug. What else went wrong? Oh yeah, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get maximum servo movement, and that's because the new inav does that so that you can get some movement when you're turning, because if you're leaning and you get all left or all right, you can't have the other wing servo move a little bit. So they do that so that you can have more movement, I guess. Yeah. And then when the thing is flying or in manual mode, you can see your servos move a lot more than when you're just moving your sticks and it's not in like manual mode or technically flying. So I figured that out. Yeah, I always thought that one servo was acting weird because I couldn't get full deflection up and down or left to right, but in my corner sticks I could. And that's just inav, I guess, unless you go into manual mode once you have enough satellites. And then my GPS wasn't working. Yeah, there was a lot of problems, but I fixed it. Here's a plane. Yeah, it's all fixed. Took my little Omniway antenna that was broken, fixed it, and I like it because it's little. Again, AKK 900 milliwatt video transmitter with microphone. I got the TBS crossfire micro off to the side right here. I have everything kind of tightly in there. I have lots of wire, so everything got lots of room. Yeah, that's the video transmitter. That's the GPS. And that's the receiver, which it's TBS crossfire micro version 3. But yeah, and that's our matek, the WSC matek F411. Here we go. Oh, my bad. Yeah. So that's where our GPS is going, our TX RX video ground. That's a TX RX video ground, that's for the receiver. And then we got the video right here, ground video power. And that's our camera ground video power that runs that way. It's not funny, I'm trying to do it without the video. Camera's hiding up there, and it's only a 3-cell battery that I can fit in there right now. I can fit a 4-cell battery, but it kind of bulges the top. Yeah, ESC's on the bottom. It's a 2450 kV motor on a 4S. And this is a zohd 40 amp ESC. And this ESC did come with a power wire. And I just have it kind of stashed underneath there. I was gonna plug in like an LED or something if I wanted to, maybe up underneath the light. But the flight controller, it is zip tied down, and then there's a sticky tab underneath it to this board, and this board is screwed down. So it's secured to that board. That is, the board is screwed down, and this is zip tied and sticky tabbed. So if I already take this, I can cut this and kind of pull it up if I need to. But for the most part, it is in there fairly center, which I like where it's at. It works, it's centered, and it's straight enough. So yeah, we're using the TX16S, and the top does fit. Hold on. That's with the top on. I usually put tape on all sides. I mean, I haven't flown this yet, but that's what I do with the red one over there. I put hot glue around the front to absorb some of the impact, and so this is also Gorilla glued on so it doesn't pop off. They make these so they pop off, and it's stupid because it breaks your camera wires or your camera. And so the nose is fixed. I got metal servos in there. That one I had to tape back in. That one, like I said, wasn't working, but I made it work. And that's where I was starting to remove it, but then figured out I'd fix the servo, and I'm glad I didn't have to remove it, because I would have to take out a whole bunch of wires out of that fucking hole. So, but I gotta tape up that part again. So yeah, that's what we got there. Can't wait to fly it and see it rip on 3S, and then do a 4S run. Yeah, that's what we got. I call it a mini Capri. If you've ever seen the TBS Crossfire, they have a Capri. It's a big one. That's what I'm calling it.